Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GDPR series. My name is Madhuri Rakhecha. I am data privacy consultant, and today Shreya and I will cover some more definitions of GDPR. So now let's get started. Today we are going to cover these 8 definitions. So without further delay, let's begin with our first definition. So our first definition is personal data, which is given in Article 4, Clause 1. Imagine you have a friend named Sonia. Personal data about Sonia is any information that is about her or can be linked back to her. Think of it this way. Personal data include direct identifiers such as Sonia's name, email or phone number. These are details that clearly points to Sonia. Then there are indirect identifiers like a username she uses online or an IP address connected to her internet use. Even though these don't say Sonia outright, they can still lead back to her. Personal data can also include things like Sonia's physical traits, genetic information, or details about her mental health. Even her social media activity or favorite hobbies can count as personal data if they can be linked back to her. Understanding this is really important because it shows how much information about us is out there and why it needs protection. It's all about making sure people like Sonia have control over who knows what about them. All right, now let's jump into personal data breach, which is given in Article 4, Clause 12. Imagine your personal data as your most prized possessions, safely stored in a treasure chest. Just like you would want to keep that chest locked and secure, your personal data needs protection too. A personal data breach is like someone sneaking into your treasure chest without your permission. They might take something valuable, mess things up, or even leave a mess behind. So, when we talk about a personal data breach, we mean anytime there is a security slip up that results in your personal information being accidentally or unlawfully messed with. For example, if someone manages to access your online accounts without permission and gets hold of details like your name or email, that counts as a breach. These breaches can happen in various ways, like someone hacking into a computer, a sneaky virus creeping into a network, or even when sensitive information accidentally reaches the wrong hands. That's why it's super important to have strong security measures in place. Think of it like adding extra locks and alarms to your treasure chest to keep your valuables safe from intruders. Moving on, what is genetic data, which is given in Article 4, Clause 13. All right, let's dig into the world of genetic data. You have probably heard the term before, but let's make sure we are clear on what it means and why it's so important to keep it safe. Genetic data is like a personalized peek into a biological code. It's all about the inherited or acquired genetic traits that make each of us unique. Think of it as a special kind of information that scientists uncover by studying biological samples like blood or saliva. Why it's so special? Genetic data is like a roadmap to who we are. It contains instructions that determine things like our eye color, susceptibility to certain disease, and even how our body responds to different medication. So it's incredibly personal and can reveal a lot about our health and ancestry. It also raises serious privacy concerns because it can be used to identify individuals and even link them to their relatives without their consent. Now let's understand biometric data, which is given in Article 4, Clause 14. Let's understand biometric data. It is personal information from things like how you look, how your body works, or how you act. These details are unique to you and help confirm who you are. Biometric data covers a wide range of unique characteristics, such as facial image, fingerprints, vein patterns, how someone walks, how someone types, or even biochemical traits like DNA or odor. Each of these features is distinctive to an individual and can distinguish one person from another. For instance, when you unlock your smartphone with your fingerprint or facial recognition, you are using biometric data to prove that it is really you. The GDPR acknowledges the sensitivity and uniqueness of biometric data by characterizing it as personal data. Next, we'll understand data concerning health, which is given in Article 4, Clause 15. Let's understand data concerning health and why it's important to protect. Health data refers to personal information directly related to someone's physical or mental well being. This includes details about their medical treatments and any information revealing their health status, whether it's about past, present, or potential future condition. Imagine someone with a visible condition like wearing thick glasses, having a broken leg, or having scars from burns. While these physical traits may be noticeable, the sensitivity arises when these details are linked to specific health information extracted from them. Now let's understand types of health data, which can include different kinds of information such as registration details, payment or eligibility information, unique identifiers, healthcare service details, test results, and healthcare provider information. Now we'll understand main establishment, which is given in Article 4, Clause 16. Let's understand concept of main establishment with an example. Imagine TechSavvy, a tech company spreading its offices across Europe. They call the shots about data strategies and purposes from their headquarters, which is in Ireland. Meanwhile, in Germany and France, they handle some local data decisions. Despite having offices in different European countries, TechSavvy's main establishment would be in Ireland because that's where the final decisions on data processing, like creating new product or services with personal data, are made. Because of this setup, Ireland's Data Protection Authority takes the lead role, ensuring TechSavvy's follow GDPR rules in all the European countries it operates in. It helps assign responsibility for data protection and ensures companies follow the rules, especially when they operate across multiple EU countries. All right, next we'll understand group of undertakings, which is given in Article 4, Clause 19. Let's explore the concept of group of undertakings. It refers to a controlling company and its subsidiaries. Imagine a parent company and its smaller companies under its wing, where the parent company has control over the others. In the world of data, there are competition law principles to make sure that the parent company doesn't misuse its power and treats everyone's information fairly. Competition law principles helps prevent anti-competitive practices or misuse of power that could harm people's data protection rights. Our next definition is relevant and reasoned objection, which is given in Article 4, Clause 25. Let's understand relevant and reasoned objection. Imagine a group of referees overseeing a game. Each referee brings their own unique viewpoints and ideas. Now, when there is a crucial decision to be made, like changing a rule that could impact the game's fairness, each referee gets a chance to voice their opinion, right? Similarly, in the world of data protection, when a supervisory authority is deciding on privacy rules, other authorities can raise concerns if they believe the decision could cause issues. They do this by presenting a relevant and reasoned objection. This means they provide clear and logical reasons why they disagree with the decision. Instead of blindly accepting a decision that could compromise people's privacy rights, this process ensures that all perspectives are carefully considered before any final choices are made. It's like having a built in system of checks and balance to ensure that decisions about data protection are thoughtful and fair for everyone involved. Alright, that's it for today's video. In our next video, we will cover the remaining definitions of GDPR. If you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can comment down below and we will get back to you with more details. If you are new to the channel and want to learn more about previous articles of GDPR, we will provide the links in the description box. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Ministry of Security YouTube channel. For more content regarding data privacy and information security, you can follow us on LinkedIn. The link is in the description box. Thank you so much. Bye bye.